And so when we take a bigger, sort of more overarching look at what are then the requirements by way of being an H-2B employer, yes, we have the bona fide need. Yes, we have the seasonal peak load. We know that there's not only that we are not going to adversely affect U.S. workers, but we also have to participate in positive U.S. recruitment. But there is a set wage that you must pay for this program. It is one of three things, whichever is the highest, conveniently so. Most cases, it's what's called the prevailing wage. The prevailing wage is a combination of your specific job duties coupled with the counties in which the work is taking place. So we get this question quite a bit. Well, what happens if I win a contract outside of the counties that I've disclosed on my application and part of the prevailing wage? In that case, unfortunately, the H-2B specific workers would not be able to take on that contract. Again, the Department of Labor wants to ensure that we're paying a fair wage to these H-2B workers. And so that's why it is so imperative that the wage itself is tied not only to those job duties, but where the work is taking place. So at least from an employer perspective, you know that the wage should not be coming out of left field because, again, it is tied so directly to your specific area. The other two potential wages, if your state minimum wage happens to be higher than the prevailing wage, you would pay that. Or if you are a part of a collective bargaining unit or have union representation, we certainly want to make sure that we get them involved in the process as well. Another requirement for an employer is that you do have to offer a minimum number of hours per the contract. It is a little bit convoluted, but it's called the 3/4 guarantee. And so when we look at your contract as a whole, we are going to ask for what is your average weekly work hours amount. Yes, we know that that's going to ebb and flow, but if you had to post a schedule, what does that look like? We take that average weekly number of hours and then multiply it by 12-week chunks within your contract period. The reason it's called 3/4 guarantee is that you as an employer need to be ensuring that you're crossing that 75%, that 3/4 threshold of those average hours in each 12-week period of your contract to meet the overall requirements. And so it really is twofold. Number one, protecting the workers that they know that they're going to at least work a certain number of hours. But then from your perspective as an employer too, it allows for that ebb and flow. You're not held to a very strict number of hours each and every pay period. It allows for whether it's weather, whether it's season, whether it's just fluctuation in your clients, to have that flexibility. The last piece here, of course, is travel. As an employer, you are responsible for both inbound and outbound transportation. So that means least cost common carrier, or the most economical way of getting those workers to you, is what you are on the hook for either paying in advance or reimbursing when the workers arrive. Now, there are some FLSA, Fair Labor Standard Act, implications within that. So we certainly recommend reimbursing that travel just as soon as possible because it can be considered a deduction and minimum wage comes into play. So long story short, have to cover inbound and outbound transportation as well as ensure that you are getting that reimbursed just as soon as possible within the contract period.